So my first question about Without Kelly is, I know that the story is a bit autobiographical. You have chosen to tell a little bit of what was going through your life as well. And you have been also self-taught filmmaking at the beginning, so it's very interesting because it's like motherhood and this thing came together in a way. So I would like to ask you more about this process and how you blend your work together, and how it felt then to see Without Kelly come to life.
Yeah, many questions there, but I can start with why I wanted to do this story. It's the first film that is, or like it's the most personal film. I did several films before that was more like just an idea or could be based on something, but this was more like, yeah, the more personal story compared to what I did before. And it was just that I had a child when I was 20, and we went through a separation, and there was a lot of emotions there and a lot of things happening at the same time for me. And I felt that, yeah, I think people can relate to this, and maybe at the same time I have a perspective that is a bit like original. Yeah, it was just like, yeah, a film about those emotions, that like when you have a small child and you don't want to separate from the child, but you have to separate from the partner, the dad. So yeah, thought that was interesting.
And for you, Siri, how it was working with Lovisa? What was your relationship, if you already know each other, and how you first met for the project? And yeah, all that comes to my mind. And I also what was your first reaction about the story of Without Kelly?
Yeah, I mean, me and Lovisa have worked together for 10 years now, and I started producing with Lovisa. This is the fourth film I produce for her as a director, and the fifth film that I'm doing with her. Um, so I think, and we also made a feature film. So the first film we did together is this, the poster here in the background, and then we did a feature that Lovisa has the poster in the background now together.
Yeah.
Which was the last film we did together, and it was shot during COVID, and it was I mean, I guess we're both very proud of that film, but it was a very difficult film to make because we shot it during COVID. So making a short film was, I think, or I found it was a lot of fun, and it gave a lot of energy to like, because there's something simple about making a short film to its shorter times, but it's also it gives you sense of freedom in a way to, yeah, I don't know, there's something with short films that I love a lot. So I was very happy when Lovisa came with this idea, and I mean the script was perfect already. Like there was nothing. It was based. I mean, what we shot was basically what you came with then, more or less. I don't know. I had a feeling already from the start that this was going to be an amazing film. Like sometimes you never, of course, you think it's going to be good if you want to make it, but with this, there was this feeling that this will be something really special. I felt from the start.
Yeah, it's true. And I remember I hadn't the chance to see it in Venice, but I remember that was something written on those journals that we see around, around the festival. So I was really, my attention got caught up in a way. And, after seeing Without Kelly, you know, my emotion did change a little bit, because I was asking myself, what is truly important at the end? Because when there is the end scene, when she go to the child, and even if she feel like she's not being cared of, by her boyfriend. She seems, to look for kind of, I don't know if protection is the right word. I don't think so, but she's looking for someone who understands what she's going through, I think. But then she realized that she only needs, to be close to Kelly, and I think that's why you choose this title as well, Without Kelly, because I think she feel more comfortable in the role of the mother than, for example, in the role of the girlfriend. That's what I got, as a first impact watching Without Kelly. And the scene at the very end when she just touches him, like caress him, and she felt, you felt freedom as well. And it's very, very heartbreaking in a way. And can I ask you, a little bit, if what I have understood is something that you wanted to show, or if it's just, my filters?
Yeah, yeah. So the film isn't about like questioning mothership. Like, is she a good mother? Can she be a mom? She's so young and she's not perfect, and she has like maybe you can question some of her like what that she doesn't do right all the time. But for me, it wasn't like about that, because her role as a mother, like how she feels the character, is like it's obvious that she she's a good mom and she loves her child and she can take care of it. But it's everything else around that is difficult, like just growing up and becoming independent, and like what does she need in her life for herself. But she can always like take care of the child if she has to. So it's more about like, okay, can she also be herself without the child when she needs to be without it? So it's more about that. Like,
Well, I think I kind of hate when you make like parenthood something universal, but there is something like if you have a child, which I also do, I think that's why the film, like it touches you so deeply, because you know this like physical feeling or longing for your child. And and I think Lovisa, you've always been so great with these um, like this rawness and intimacy that is in the film that I think is always there. You feel I mean, or I feel very connected to Esther, the mom, and I can really feel her state of mind through the whole film. So I think that's one of the reasons that the film has continued to like really touch people in a way. I think there's something that is so relatable with that. And then at the same time, if you're not a parent, I think you can really relate to Esther's like that feeling of being young and being a bit lost and not knowing what to do with this evening. Like I can't, I know shit. I need to like I have to go through the night or something.
yeah,
So I mean, that's why I love the script and the story and also how it turned out. I think there's an authenticity in the film that is always in Lovisa's films, but I think it's like maybe the volume is like a bit
Very
even
powerful.
more
Yeah,
turned up emotionally in a way.
exactly. Yeah. And how did you choose to cast Medea as well? Because she is, I think, perfect. I mean, she she is so tiny, she's so expressive, she's so pure in a way. So how did you find her? Did you already collaborate with her?
yeah. I was working as a teacher in a film school where she was an actress student, and I saw her in a few of my students' film, and then I got the idea like maybe she could be Esther in this film. So I started to think and look at her like, yeah, I think she has something special in her character also, and not only how she acts in the films. That she has some kind of innocence. She looks young. She's like she has some fragility, but she's also like tough, and she can be like, do you trust her or not? And that was interesting for me. So yeah, I talked to her, asked if she was interested in the part, and then we did some. She more or less got the part, but she tried with a few different guys that we casted. So yeah, the guys we did cast different actors that we found.
Very nice.
Yes.
And also, you know, what has changed after your triumph, we can say, in Venice and the upcoming premiere that you at Sundance? What do you believe it has changed for you, even in the way you are thinking about next project, maybe that, you know, are you are getting maybe more attention, more possibilities, and what was for you the best feeling that you have after, you know, the recognition of your work? Because even if, you know, prize are not everything, they help you a lot to be recognized. So what was your thought back then of Venice?
It was incredible to actually win, and to just get into the festival was like a huge accomplishment, and like, okay, this will open up new possibilities, and yeah, encouragement from different people and companies that maybe will support me in the future, our films. uh and yeah, I feel like encouraged, and I was very like emotional when we found out that we would win, because it's like this little short film has now this huge attention. So that was like, yeah, I don't think I've been like that emotional and happy in a way before when we won something or got into a festival. So it was like huge. But then also like meeting with people who I wouldn't expect that would appreciate the film. Like it was, I did an interview with a like 60-year-old man who was so touched by the film, and like he could really like see himself. And I'm like, okay, that's so cool, like because he had children and he remembered how he was like long time ago. And also like a young guy who was like in his 20s and didn't have kids, and was like, this really reminds me of a relationship that I had, and she got pregnant and we didn't know what to do, and we were very young. And so yeah, all of this like attention is really, yeah, surprising and makes me proud of the film.
Rewarding.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for you, Siri, what do you what have you thought about, you know, knowing that Venice was a success? And
Yeah, I mean, it's like Lovisa said, it's been amazing to see like how it touches people. And of course, it's done a lot of really good short film festivals during the fall, and now it's going to Sundance. It's competing in Gothenburg, and we have a nomination also for the Swedish Academy Awards. But of course, I think like I told Lovisa when we were in Venice, it felt also like a prize for like all the films that Lovisa has done up until like, because I feel like everything has led up to this film in a way for Lovisa to make. So it was like, because she's made so many like short films and a feature film that have also been to Sundance and Locarno, and like it was about time that she got like a huge prize, I think. And then of course we have a new feature film in development. And I think in a way it was also nice because we got the funding for development before the win in Venice.
oh, this
So
is
it
so
was
good.
also kind of nice to know
Yeah.
that it's not because of but of course it's gonna help and open up doors. Hopefully it will. So I mean it's an amazing. I mean Venice is an amazing festival, and winning the short film prize there is huge. It's
Yeah.
just overwhelming.
And also, this is will be the second appearance that you are going to have at Sundance, you following audition, right? So what does it mean for you? I think it's, you know, nice to be back to a festival that you that was your first debut, I think, as a director. And when you say you started only to do what you love to do, and that was amazing for me. And also, what do you think, you know, like about you always, even for the long feature, like I don't know if I'm saying Maya Nilo, you
Halo, yeah.
always choose to you know, watching very close the relationship between human beings that is very in a way, you know, when something is good, we say that you make your work look simple, but it's not, because I mean, like going so deep in representing how relationships are made, and the power dynamics that there are between people, especially if we are talking about, you know, relationship between a guy and a woman, it's not so easy to show how the power comes in, and where is, you know, like the true femininity, and what's the power of women. And so I would like to ask you, what was the whole process behind that? I mean, like, if you can recall, like, your first stages of your career, and then now going back to Sundance again.
Uh, oh, okay. I'm not sure. Should I talk about Maya, Nilo, Laura?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, please.
Or yeah. Uh, yeah, well, yeah, there were so many things that I came to think of now. But yeah, okay, first Sundance is great. It was just amazing last time we were there, and it's surreal coming to that snow village. Now we have snow here too, but yeah, it's special, very special there, and everyone is so happy. As that's how it was in Venice too. Yeah, but with Maya, Nilo, Laura, yeah, what was the question there? Sorry.
What's, you know, your thoughts back then when you started your career? You know, where were your doubts, your dreams, your expectation? I don't know what you feel, what you felt back then, and what you're feeling now that you're coming back to the Sundance.
Yeah, I think like from the start, like making films, I just want to create, and I I force myself to come up with ideas, and what I come up with is, it can be different. Like if it's something like a question that I have that I don't have the answer to, like the first film, Pussy Have the Power, that Siri plays in, it was based on a situation where that I didn't know really what was right and wrong, and I wanted to show it, and show like the authenticity, and something that is like, I try to make something real always.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is like the same as when I started. And same with Maya, Nilo, Laura. I was like, okay, it started with, I thought about, I want to make a film about women's relationship with women, like without men. What happens in the rooms where there's no men but only women, and so that started with that. So I had like the car, everything happens in the car, and the dynamics between these three women, or yeah, two women and one child, but or becoming a woman. So yeah, that was like the core of that film. But yeah, every film has a different subject or a different like point of view to start off with, that I find interesting.
And how it was for you, Siri? You know, be together with Lovisa in this journey. What did you what did you see in her growing? If she has changed, or if she's the same, even if you have, I don't know if you have the chance to, see each other working in the creative process, or if you see only the work when it's done, like the script. And so how it felt for you being close to her during this time.
Yeah, I think Lovisa, I mean, it's not, we've grown together and also separately, I think. I mean, when the first film I produced was Lovisa's audition, and then we did Baby next year, and then we started working on Maya Nilo Laura. Um, so I think for me, it's also, yes, of course, I mean, it's 10 years of making films. And also Lovisa has, of course, worked, she did a TV series, like we also don't always work together. Um, but I think what I mean for me working with Lovisa is like it's two things. One is that I think Lovisa is like one of the absolutely the most interesting and talented directors in Sweden. There's like the way if and also if you look at like from script stage, like she writes dialogue like brilliantly, like seamlessly. Like that's why I think always with her films that people are like they seem so real. Like, is it improvised? No, it's written like that, but she just does it so well. And there's always like this sense of humor and lightness to it. And I think uh, I think that's also what I like. I think that also is translatable to how it is working with Lovisa. That there's like it's serious and you take everything serious and you do really hard work, but there's also some sort of prestigelessness in it. Like it's not like I don't know. It's fun to make films, and yes, it's difficult sometimes, but it's not like no one's gonna die if nothing works, if something doesn't work out. I don't know. There's a likeness to it that I think we're similar in a way. So that's uh, like that's one. Well, actually, those were the two parts. That it's also like one is like what the films she does and the scripts and also what the films and the content are and the themes. I think, and the other one is that she's a brilliant person to work with. Like there's a trust between us that I really appreciate. That I think is um, I think we've managed to grow separately, but also together in a way that makes it, of course, also. I think Without Kelly is the film that I've been least like involved in terms of scripts and artistic choices, right? Lovisa, it's like I think we've also managed to go more into our roles. Whereas when we started, because you have less funding, everyone's doing everything constantly together. So this was more like producer director, but then we also know each other, so we don't have to check in with all the decisions all the time because we kind of know what the other person is gonna say about it.
Yeah,
Do
that's
you
amazing.
agree, Lovisa?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's
100%.
fundamental to have this kind of relationship when you work together. It's the work comes really smooth, and like you say, it's not too heavy, but you feel like you're having fun doing things, and that I think that's the difference. That's the big difference. And can I ask you something about your new project? I know that you have been working on a drama that it's inspired by Little Red Riding Hood. Is that true? Like, but it's gonna be for grown-ups, right? So can you just share a little
Yes.
bit of hints, or just not too many spoilers?
Yeah, it's a middle-aged woman, so it's not like a little girl, and yeah, it's a drama with inspiration from the fairy tale.
So I would like to ask you both, actually, if you have favorite movies, favorite directors that you like, how they work, and some inspiration that you have to put your passion in reality.
I think for me, I did a TV school, like the first education that I had after gymnasium. So there I got to do like practical things like filming and editing and like working in a team. But then I did 1 year of film studies at the university. So there I saw all the classic films and like masterpieces and like from when film started until up until today. So I had just seeing all of those all of that work, I think made me really inspired to create films myself. And I had like different periods where I liked 70s film, like I still like a lot of 70s film, like the style how it's shot, but also like Bergman films, like maybe because he's from Sweden that it was like inspiring, and my Zetterling, who was also like a director working at the same time as Bergman in Sweden. Yeah, so it comes a little bit from everywhere, and I have different periods when I'm more into something.
Yeah, I kind of younger, and I was in theater groups from the age of 15. And I think that has been a lot of that's been inspirational for me when I started making films, was this kind of the collective work of performance art, and from that scene where there's where I felt that there was like a constant critical thinking, um, but still a very communal and kind of, I mean, the scene that I came from was very flat hierarchical, which doesn't really translate so well always to the film industry. But I think when we started making films, that was inspirational for me. And we were, it was not only Lovisa, we were like a group of young filmmakers that started like helping each other out and being involved in each other's works. It's not like an art piece itself, but it was the way to do things. And I think that was also like with performance arts, like you cannot separate the finished product from the like the rehearsal and the path there. And I think that was something that I always thought about when we started making films, like how much emphasis you also must have to put into the actual process leading to the finished film. Um, so that's, and in terms of the inspiration, I mean, I think it's a kind of cheesy maybe or corny, and maybe it's my age, but I think there's still something that there's like an interesting time in the 90s, both in Scandinavia but also in like American indie films, where there was like these kind of broad films that were quite political in a way, but they were like super accessible, but they had like a really like almost a very strong political statement, but it was so accessible. And I think also the bit like shot on film and everything, they all looked really nice as well. But I tend to like look to the 90s, to those type of films that were like fun and entertaining, but also had this sort of sense morale or political statement under, that I think is interesting, and I hope that we will see a little bit more of again.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree with you. I don't know why, but it came to my mind one film when you talk about a 90s movie, I got in my mind like the one with Barbara Streisand. I don't know if you remember it, like where she was very active like in the political field, and but there is also this love story between her and this man that is totally the opposite in terms of political view, and
Ah,
that movie was so good actually, and so I
yeah.
like you said, so accessible, so easy to watch. And so the time is already running out. I would like to ask you like one quick last question, that is, what is for you like the best part of working in this industry and the worst part? But you have to be very quick because we have like only 5 minutes.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. It's easy to come up with the worst part, and that is that it's
With the
it's
best.
difficult to
Okay.
survive like economically. It's
Okay.
that is that's the worst part. And the best part, I don't know. It's like everything. Like say, I think just from an idea to final product, the satisfaction that you create something together with other people that is like you don't know how it's gonna be when you start. Like you never know, and especially then if you're the one who come up with the idea from the start, that is like a huge satisfaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also like if sometimes I'm just editing and it's like I have a material, like I can edit for someone else sometimes and I have material and we don't know how it's gonna end up, and then it ends up with something like it's a bit magical to that you don't have anything and then you have something. Yeah.
Of course. And what for you, Siri, on the other side of production?
No, but I agree with Lovisa. I mean, it's the waiting. Things take a long time, and sometimes that can be frustrating, of course. Um, so I think, I mean, now also in Europe, in Scandinavia, but also in Europe in general, we see our funding getting cut everywhere. So that is a challenge, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen with that. And I think the best part, yeah, similar to what Lovisa said, I think when you see things coming along, like coming together, and I think I mean, my favorite part is when you see how when different people get attached to a project and you see that it adds something and it makes it even bigger and better, and it can be could also be a financer, but it could also be an actor or like anyone who comes in, and you just see how a project grows and becomes more its full potential. I think that's really it's the beauty of filmmaking is the collective work that it is.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And it's been amazing
Thank
for
you.
me working and have the chance to see Without Kelly. And I hope all the best for that short film and all the next project you're working on, and hope to see you again soon. So thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
really.
Thank you so much.